Hmm. I didn't think I would do this video, actually, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult for anyone to influence me on anything, because I'm a bit of a weird person like that. It's very hard for anyone to get me to try something that's interesting or whatever, but in this instance, it's turned around now, and thankfully it has become something that I didn't think I would ever get into. And that is, and if you've heard me say this once, I'll say it 1,000 times, I'm a little bit specific and very strict about the toys that I buy now when it comes to Transformers. Because since I'm not really a collector anymore, I will only ever stay interested in a toy if the character is interesting or complex or is likable to some degree, or if that character represents a part of you, which is just how I feel about it. And you can disagree with me on that opinion if you want. I know that a lot of people have their own ways when it comes to collecting Transformers, but for me, it's always about character. It will always be about character. And I wouldn't buy any other toy because of that reason. And thankfully, not thankfully, but surprisingly, because this video I've seen floating around recently, which is titled as the video you can probably see below, is called Ray Made Me Do It. Ray has influenced so many people to buy figures that you wouldn't ordinarily buy because of if the toy is good, if the design of that figure is good, if the lines in the 3 dimensions of those figures work very well, and the detail is eye-grabbingly interesting, which on these 2 figures they are. And what better way to really say this? The Prime line really hasn't really grabbed my attention. I only ever got 2 figures, and that's really how I really wanted to keep it, because the line has had its ups and downs, because we've seen mediocre toy after passable toy because of the recent complaints addressing toys nowadays in Transformers regarding the plastic quality and all that other horseshit. And in this instance, I feel like Prime now has really impressed me, surprisingly, and I didn't think it would. And I will go ahead and start off by saying right now, Ray made me do it. Ray made me get these 2 figures after I saw his reviews of these 2 guys, and honestly, I've had a lot of fun playing with these 2 toys, because these 2 toys are... what's the best way to say this? This is a quality from a toy that I have not seen in a long, long time. By that I mean these toys don't really feel like they belong in any other line other than the Beast Wars line, because the Beast Hunters line really, I think, harkens back to the joy, the greatness that was the Beast Wars line post early figures. And for this instance, these 2 figures have done a fantastic job in really just... And everything that you have not, everything that you haven't seen a Transformers toy do in quite a while, which is they have done everything in regards to the detail. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, why would you buy these figures if they haven't really been characterized yet? Well, I know that these toys are these 2 characters, both Darksteel and Skylynx, which, by the way, I don't really understand why Skylynx is given the name to this dragon, but hey-ho. These 2 characters are set to appear in the finale of Prime, which is Predacons Rising, which is set to come out around the end of the year, around in October, I think. So until these 2 guys get character and personality and whatever, then maybe it will feel right for me to really get attached to them. But the reason I got them is because I've had a lot of fun transforming these 2 figures and playing with them and just seeing how they work in both of their modes. Darksteel in particular, because I love how the... well, there isn't really much detail I can really spot on this figure in both modes, but I just love how the feel of it how the feel of this toy really works, in that it feels like a Beast Wars toy. Same thing with Skylynx, and okay, this one has more, so Darksteel is more of a smooth figure in terms of the texture. Skylynx is more spiky in terms of his wing design, and in terms of just his corners and all of his panels, and how he works. I'm assuming it's a she, anyway. But yeah, I have had a lot of fun playing these figures, so, Ray, I love Mess, even though he doesn't like to be called that. I shake my fist in your direction for making me get these toys. and making me get into the Prime line again, because not only am I tempted to, not only was I tempted to get these two figures, but now, and this is on the shopping list for this year's Auto Assembly, I am now tempted to go and get the Ultimate Predaking, which it might be an impossible task, but I'm gonna at least try to get that figure because it looks gorgeous. And mostly because it's a dragon. I mean, everyone, if you're a fan of medieval folklore, or even Transformers, you have to buy a dragon former, at least one dragon former. Predaking is no exception. You have to at least get that figure and see the detail and the design and the complex ingenuity that made that figure what it is. And getting back onto these two figures for just a minute, I just love this one because it's so smooth, and because it's the texture of it is very smooth, and there isn't really much detail. Well, there isn't really much detail on this figure to speak of. There is a little bit of detail on it, particularly on the wings, on how well detailed the wings are, and the Cybertronian language on the wings, on the shoulders, and specifically on the side of the chest as well, which is quite a nice touch. And well, yeah, this figure is pretty good for what it is. And Skylynx I just like because it just looks really, really metal. Because the one thing that really drew my attention to this toy was the skeletal design of the robot mode, particularly in the chest, and the dragon mode, which really it looks like there's barely any skin on this alt mode, and the entire alt mode of the dragon just looks like one muscle-bound skeleton, which looks really, really cool. So that's the main reason why I got this figure. And to anyone who's going to Auto Assembly as well, if you're a fan of Prime, why wouldn't you be? And if you're a fan of the Beast Hunters line at all, seriously, make these two figures your top choices on what to buy for this year. Also, as well, I think that George, Exaggerated likes these figures as well. I know that he's all big into his Beast Wars toys, and I am as well. So, George, as well, if you're watching this video, get these two figures. If you haven't already got them already, and I'm pretty sure you do, nothing gets past your ear regarding any Beast-related stuff, so I'm pretty sure you must have got these two already. But if you haven't already got them, go get these two figures, or at least try and find their original molds. Because I know that this is based off of, I think it's Grimwing, Darksteel is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see, Skylynx, I think, I'm trying to remember what his one was, memory escapes me, but yeah, the name escapes me, but anyway, yes, seriously, get these two figures. Until the characters are flushed out, until there's a reason to like them, I will go much in depth onto these two toys, until Predacons Rising comes along, but until then, Ray made me buy these two figures, because I think they're really, really cool.